What's up, folks? Hope you're doing well. I'm coming at you today with an update, a video update on drip. Now, unfortunately, to address the elephant in the room, the price is trading below $3. And all of it started when the Animal Farm launched because people were expecting that the drip price goes up, but it went down instead. Now, the speculation around this, as how it was previously, then people are taking money from drip to enter the farm, and after some while it will come back in. But at the end of the day, you don't know, I don't know. So of course some of this truth is there. So I'm sure some of this drip being sold is actually being paired with BUSD, sorry, with drip again, because it was sold for BUSD to enter the farm. But overall, unfortunately, the macroeconomic outlook of the ecosystem is not that. So it's not operating in cycles based on what I'm seeing. And to basically back that up, I'm gonna dive into the metrics of whatever we're at today in regards to faucet obligations, drip held in wallets, etc., and also give my opinion as in when or if, for example, the price of drip has a recovery in front of it, perhaps touching 2 digits or even trading above the $3, I don't know, 5, 6. So there's no price prediction here, it's just facts and opinions, speculations as well in regards to if there's going to be a recovery coming our way. So don't go anywhere. Alright, so let's look at our status today in regards to how we're progressing in faucet obligations, drip held in wallets, hydrate ratios, all of that good stuff. So I did depict examples of all of this stuff in previous videos. I'm gonna either leave links to them in the description below, or you can find them on my channel if you just search for them. So ever since I covered this, we had also an implosion in faucet obligations. So yeah, that last bit was a bit French. So we jumped from on the 27th of September, we jumped from 44.8 million almost to 62.8 million. So yeah, that's an 80 million jump. Now in regards to ratios, it's a lesser jump than if you compare 27 September's data versus 29th of July data, but percentages can be deceiving sometimes because in absolute values we're still growing at the same pace. Now that is for one of the main reasons is people are hyper compounding, other than the fact that new wallets are being added every day. But it's a double-edged sword, right? So the more investor base you have, the bigger that is, the more you have to pay in obligations, and that grows. So if price keeps on being lowered, people psychologically tend to hyper compound to keep up with the loss in price. So for example, if I have 100 drips in valued at $1,000, that drops to $900, I tend to compound more to make up for that 100 difference that I lost on paper, because those are unrealized losses yet, in order to bring back my faucet value up by $100. So that is the main way of thinking that most people are going about in drip. So the price drops, you compound more, and then you wait for a price appreciation, and then you can contemplate taking profits, because the way of thinking is they wouldn't take profits because in their opinion, or in the common folks' opinion, the price is too low right now. So based on future and historical patterns, it's going to increase again, and then it would be the time for me to actually take my profits. But if you really think about it, some people thought that $10 was too low. They never took any profits. Then now we're at $3, trading below even $3. So that's about the 3x gap overall. So yeah, I think it's all relative to what a person gives value to a certain token or coin. Now put that aside, you can also see how the faucet growth is being depicted overall. So yeah, that growth keep on exponentially growing in both absolute and percentage values. So the potential, so the average growth overall, if you discount, for example, October, so from January to September was that much, including October, is still hovering about the 27% of monthly growth in regards to obligations. So yeah, we need a lot of drip to pay these people at the end of the day. Now, this is discounting all the drip held in wallets that also increased by about 463k in 42 days ever since, you know, the last values were basically entered in front of you. So that's how much we have held in wallets. Overall, that's the increase, and that is the average. If you take into account these 42 days, the average per day that was added into the wallets of the drip investors. Even though on paper that seems like a lot, but in reality it's not if you compare it to how much drip is being produced every single day. Because let's talk about average and ratios in regards to profit taking, hydrating, so on and so forth. Now, in regards to the faucet growth or the faucet size on average for the past 42 days, so if you take the higher limit versus the lower limit into consideration, that's the average, more or less. So my calculations are based on averages mostly. So if that's the average faucet growth or the average faucet size, for the past 42 days, the 1% of this were basically paying out more than 500,000 drip tokens when originally the total supply was 1 million. So more than 500,000 is being given or potentially given every single day. Now, of course, nothing close to that is being sold. And bear with me for a second. So that's how much is potentially produced. Remove from that number 11,000 because those tokens are what being added to wallets. That is 526.9k left up for grabs. Now, I'm sure you're familiar with this website. I'm gonna open it right now. It's drip. Sorry, apologies. It's this one. Oops, not this one. It's dripnetwork.ca. So, dripnetwork.ca, basically whenever I open this, I use these nice curves to see how much is being hydrated, claimed, or deposited even. So the hydrating curve, if you take also on average for the past 42 days, it tells us that about 305,000 tokens per day are being hydrated. So that gives us a ratio of about 58% in hydrating, and what is left in absolute value of 222k on average, again, is either sold, paired with BUSD, because the animal farm is live now, so you have a drip BUSD farm to enter and earn dogs, or airdrop to new wallets, because that is also something that is happening. Now, if, and I say if, all of these tokens were being sold, that gives us about 932k in potential selling pressure, taking into account the average price from that date to that date, and I did the calculation, it's about $4.2, and we don't have anywhere near that many buys in order to potentially offset 30% of that amount that could potentially be sold. And if that was the case, then the price would have been in cents right now, but it's not, and you can clearly see the narrative here. Now, of course, some of it has been sold to be paired with drip, and they entered the farm, or just taken from that amount and paired with fresh BUSD, and then they entered the farm. But the majority of this amount is actually being airdropped to new wallets, because two things can give you a hint that this is happening. Actually, let's say three, because one is the idea of people getting more drip tokens exponentially as they grow their faucets. They can airdrop more into new ones and thus repeat the cycle, and it's an ever-growing curve of added drip tokens for one person, for one individual. That's one. Two, if you look here right now, if you look at the daily new faucet accounts, that doesn't give us the individual addition and the individual unique wallets, or sorry, the unique individuals being added to the investor base. That just gives us the number of wallets, and a person can own 1,000. So why on earth wouldn't I, if I have so many drip tokens, why would I just put them in my wallet and let them sit? I would rather either use them in the farm, claim and sell them if I want to profit, or put them in a new wallet and generate more. because it's an endless cycle at the end of the day, the way it is. And 3, if you look actually at the drip price bot chat on Telegram, you can clearly see that previously there used to be a big buy followed by deposit, etc. Now, it's mainly populated by deposits into new wallets. And by that I mean people airdropping tokens into new wallets and so on and so forth. And thus, it gives us the illusion that we have more investors coming in, while in fact, it's, in my opinion, 70% all investors adding new wallets and potentially 30% of new people. But that's speculation on my part. I cannot know, you cannot know. Teams are growing for sure. There are new people, but the majority is just the current investor base adding more to their current situation in drip. So, because this is the case, on one hand, you could argue that at the end of the road, this could lead to a disaster, right? So one person or several individuals have so many drip tokens into their hands, so they have the power to manipulate the price overall. So that's true. But what I like about this approach as well is that, one, you're not selling those tokens, right? So you are giving the underlying motivation that we have more people in, and that is helping overall the ecosystem. And 2, you are adding those tokens into the tax vault, correct? Because you are depositing them and inherently increasing the tax vault, and that helps with inflation because our total supply has more than tripled for the past few months. So you are cushioning some of the drip basically underlying vulnerabilities in a way by doing so, even though you're increasing your position, but you are helping that inflation to stay in check. Now, I want to add a few more sentences about the inflation part of it, because in my opinion, that is one of the main reasons, and that is something actually that people tend to forget. Like, they tend to focus on the circulating supply that is also ever growing and say, okay, minting is added to the total supply, but the focus should be on the circulating supply. But why would how come a circulating supply can increase without the underlying total supply that is also increasing? So the two complement each other. You cannot disregard the total supply and just focus on the circulating, because the circulating supply inherently comes from the total supply in a way. So that's how you should think about this whole thing. So in my opinion, you need a structural change in regards to tokenomics, for example, to actually literally burn drip tokens, not to come back into the ecosystem, remove them forever from the token supply. And because demand is not so high, you need to reduce the supply. So basic economics, if the supply is increasing, demand is stable or even decreases, then at the end of the day, your price will also go into the downtrend. That is basic economics. And moving forward to if I actually think that the price could recover, yeah, in my opinion, it could. Now, of course, not the moonshots that some people discuss and talk about in regards to $100, even $30. In my opinion, it could reach 2 digits, maybe the lower end of that, or maybe slightly higher 1-digit drip price. But the price isn't something that is super important in regards to how high it can get. It should be higher than this, but stability is more important. And that's why I mentioned this, I'm gonna say it again. You need people to hold that drip token and give them utility or actual value to hold it, because everyone is just selling or waiting to sell at a higher price. You can see it all over Telegram, all over social media, all over YouTube. A lot of people are just holding to their drip tokens in regards and in hope to get a higher price point to sell their drip tokens, because they really think that right now it's really undervalued and they want to get as much as possible from their drip. So they're not looking to hold it to something. Now, of course, there is the minority that enter the drip BUSD farm, but that's not enough. You need more than that. And timing is important too, because at the pace of where is this going, we're gonna end up having our products and our utility in 2 to 3 years. That's not good. And by then the price will be decimated. People are gonna lose interest and move on. So all of this comes into play. So you have timing, you have structure, you have actual utility, and you have to leverage the marketing power of this community. Use this, get more projects involved with drip, let them give us tokens for us to farm them with drip. That's an added utility, like what PancakeSwap does.
get them exposed to the community to look further. I don't know, add more utility to the farm in regards to drip, like locking some drip for added APY, locking some drip to create an avatar. Like there's so much that can be done and gamified, and I'm gonna talk about this in another video, but Animal Farm having 2 tokens was a stretch in my opinion. The investor base is not ever growing, and you are having one liquidity stretched on 3 tokens instead of being focused on 1 and potentially 2. So why having pigs and dogs into the farm when you can have drip and pigs, for example, into the farm? So overall, this is a topic for another video, but at least you got the point of what I'm trying to depict here. Alright, that's it from me today. Thank you for sticking around and listening to everything I had to say. Now, I really hope I brought you some value with this. I'm surely gonna make more of these videos in regards to showing whatever is happening, whatever we have right now. And potentially, perhaps the next one will also focus more on an actual price based on whatever is coming and what could potentially happen. Now, a V2 of the faucet has been hinted, but again, products can be complete, fully complete, and then roll out in months. We basically have like 30% completion of this per, I don't even know, like no one really knows what's gonna be like. So I don't expect this before mid 2023, but let's hope I'm wrong, and let's hope the timing of all of this is fixed. And yeah, so with that being said, a sub to the channel would be amazing. It really helps us new content creators around the blog dish out better, more valuable content to everyone and expose this word we love the most to more people. So I thank you and appreciate you in advance for doing so. Also, if you like this video and whatever I put on this channel, a like would be amazing. It helps the algorithm. It also pushes more people to watch this, trying to bring as much value as I can. So I thank you for this. And if you have anything to say, any comment, just write down below. We can have a conversation. I reply to everyone and I welcome criticism in open arms. Maybe I'm wrong with my thought process, so if you are right and you want to correct me, go ahead. We can have a discussion. You can also join my Telegram channel and also text me personally on Telegram. Links below to all of that good stuff. So yeah, catch you later. As always, take care of your finances and trade responsibly. This was Roy with DeFi Ascension. Thank you for watching.